Then there is a term continuous delivery, and there is another term continuous deployment. So both are um, almost similar with the minor change. What is continuous delivery? So after you build and test your code, you need to deploy that code somewhere to the server, right? So when you deploy to somewhere, let's say in the test environment, right, and then you perform some kind of testing. So in case of continuous delivery, this process till this part, it's automated. You see that uh, code, when you write some code, perform some unit tests, integrate. Continuous integration is also done when you do acceptance testing. But before you deploy to production, there is one manual check. Manual check means you verify that all your changes are correct. uh, do you have all the required testing done? So once you confirm each and everything, then you deploy to production. What is production? This is the end user's site where the end user access the code or your website. Let's say facebook.com or linkedin.com. When the end user log into this linkedin.com, so that is the production server, right, where the end user can access that application. So before you deploy to the production, make sure everything is in place. Let's say it's a banking site, let's say icicbank.com or axisbank.com, right, or hdfcbank.com. If that bank makes some changes, the developer makes some changes in their site and push to production, and there is some error. If there is an error in production, means the end user cannot access that site. You will get an error, site is down, or there is some error. So this is not a good impression, right? This is not a good for that organization that the end user face some issues or downtime. So in order to avoid that, we perform some kind of manual check. It's a kind of checklist or dual verification that everything is done perfectly. Then once you verify it, then you deploy to production. So this manual step, when is performed before you deploy to production, this is known as continuous delivery. But if you don't perform this manual step, right, and if you perform everything automatically, look at the last part, right, this is also automatic. Everything is automatic till end. The complete pipeline is automated. There's no manual process. Then this is known as continuous deployment, right? So if you don't perform any kind of manual activity and everything is done automatically through some scripting or some automation, then this process is known as continuous deployment. But this continuous deployment concept is hardly is being used in the industry. Only less than 5% companies perform continuous deployment. For example, the big short companies like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft, they do hundreds of deployments in a day. So all of them are automated, right? So they hardly have any manual intervention. This is only possible when your testing is very robust. You are sure that all your test cases are robust enough to verify all the conditions, and you rely on your testing, right? So if everything is perfect, then only you can do continuous deployment. But rest of the industry or rest of the organization, let's say more than 95% of companies, being it a big service companies like TCS or HCL or Wipro, all the big companies, no matter uh, how big that company is, they usually go with the continuous delivery process, because, and specifically the banking companies, banking organizations, because they cannot take risk, right? So it's better to do some manual check rather than repenting on later that their site is down and they could have tested it earlier, right? So until unless you are 100% sure that all your tests are success and you rely on your testing, automatic testing, or then you go with the continuous deployment. Otherwise, better you manually check each and everything before you deploy to production, because once it is deployed to production, it is very difficult to fix that issue on the production. It will bring down your end user's website. Is that clear difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment?